What's going on, everybody? Your boy Sin back here for season 3, episode 4 of Anime Vault. But before we get into it, y'all know what it is. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate that. It helps us go a long way. Also, we do have a Patreon, so step over there. We have exclusive content for y'all just over there. You can get in for as cheap as $1. So go check it out. See what we got over there for you all. And with that being said, let's get right into this one. We're here this week to talk about the record of Lodoss War from 1990. So, let's start at the top. Why does this resonate with me? I believe it's because back then, anime can be wild, unique, crazy, unique characters. This was more so grounded, in my opinion. This is a classic Dungeons and Dragons type of tale. Think maybe Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, kind of stuff along that nature. Like solid character design, nothing over the top. Like I said, it's pretty much D&D, something along those lines for the most part, and I really appreciated about it. And I enjoyed the story and the characters and all that stuff with it. And it's honestly probably one of my favorite animes of all time. So I was really looking to go back and just revisit it since it's been so long since I've seen this. So let's get into the synopsis. Let's get into the plot summary, just so you all can know what it's about before we jump into whether or not you should take time in your schedule to give this one a viewing. So I'm gonna read the summary via Anime News Network. Okay. Created from the aftermath of the last great battle of the gods, Lodoss and his kingdoms have been plagued by war for thousands of years. As a quiet piece of unity finally becomes foreseeable over the land, an unknown evil begins to stir. An ancient witch has awakened, bent on preserving the island of Lodoss by creating political unbalance throughout the many kingdoms and keeping anyone from maintaining central control. Only a mixed-race party of 6 young champions, led by the young warrior Parn, stand between this new threat and Lodoss's descent back into the darkness of war and destruction. So, that's what it's about. A little heavy, but you get the idea. So now the question is, should you take the time on your busy schedule to give this one a viewing? What are you guys thinking right now? Is it a yes? Is it a no? Maybe? In my opinion, I'm going to go with yes. So, with that being said, let's jump to the opening because we have one here. Does the opening still slap? Yes, it does. It's a very mellow opening considering what the show's about. But yeah, the mellow tone of the music, the overall vibe of the music goes perfect with the subtle visuals. And I think it just goes great overall with the show. I definitely really enjoyed the intro. Next up, do the characters still hold up? And I'm going to say yes, they do. There's a lot of characters in this, just like a Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or anything like that. So let's just focus on the 6 main heroes and one other. We have Parn, who is our knight, if you will, in this. Unskilled when it starts. He wants to be just like his father, who was this big, well-known warrior and knight. He wants to follow his father's footsteps for the most part. And we follow him on this journey. Then you have Delit. She's a high elf who's great at swordplay. She's great at magic. Her kind has kind of sheltered himself away from everything with all the war going on. But of course, she's the curious one and wants to go out into the world and see things for herself. Meets Parn, kind of falls for the young lad, and follows him on his journey and joins with him. We have Ito, who is Parn's best friend who went off to become a priest. And now he's back and he's going to help Parn with his journey. So as you see right now, we have a knight, we have an elf, we have a priest. You see how this is all coming together. Now, we have Gim, who's an older, well, not older, he's a really older dwarf. He uses an axe. He hurt himself mining. A priestess kind of healed him back up and got him back to where he's healthy again and can move about. But she has lost her daughter for years now. She's out missing somewhere. So he takes it upon himself to want to go track her down. And we have his close friend, Slain, who's a sorcerer and very intelligent, who wants to help him with that. And last but not least, to join the crew, we have a thief named Woodchuck, who, of course, where else do you meet a thief in an RPG when you get locked up along with him? So, yes, that is our whole cast and crew. Trust me, it's a lot, And there's plenty of character development you see along the way, even beyond the last episode, which is only 13 episodes. There's plenty of development here if you want to dive into and search into it further. And the last character I just want to highlight is my personal favorite character by the name of Ashram. He's one of our 3 big bad villains in it. He's ambitious. He's a complete badass. He looks cool. And just as just overall presence and just everything about that, I really messed with him going into this. He's known as the Black Knight. You see, when you look at all these different characters and everything, it's like I said, nothing different from a typical RPG you played or Dungeons & Dragons or anything along that line. They keep it very simple. And yes, they could have been more crazy and zany, but remember, this came out in 1990. So I'm actually appreciative of seeing them in these more cliche-ish, if you will, form as characters. And not going too over the board, too crazy with them. Just solid backgrounds, solid reasons for doing what they're doing. And like I said, you see the progression of their personalities and all that kind of stuff as it goes through it. I personally enjoyed it a lot. So let's move on to the genre itself and how it stands up overall. Personally, I think the show holds up pretty well in a lot of these parts. I would consider this adventure, drama, and fantasy. The fantasy portion is on full-on display, from goblins to magic to dragons. All that stuff is here, and it fits well. The drama's on point too, from the political issues to the interpersonal relationships, even some betrayal at points down the line. I think it does good there too. The adventure holds up very well with our 6 adventurers traveling all across Lodoss. You're seeing all different type of places as they're having these fierce battles and doing their part to keep Lodoss from going back into that time of war. The action, honestly, may be the weakest point. It's not bad. It's just everything else kind of overshadows it for me. And when it comes to action, they do, since it's a lot older anime, they reuse some of those action stills once again and do a lot of the still shots and stuff like that. Like, it's not bad, and you can definitely still enjoy it within the confines of everything else and what's going on. Overall, I really enjoyed revisiting this one. I had a lot of nostalgic memories come back about it, hanging with my friends every weekend over the house, and we're watching this. It was one of our favorites, one of the ones we like to go back to. It didn't disappoint me like others have doing this segment, so I'm so happy about that. I got to keep my feelings and nostalgia and everything just intact. Also, if you did enjoy this one, there's plenty out there of other type of content for you to dive more into this world with. There's plenty of mangas where it goes deeper into things beyond just these 13 episodes. Video games as well. I know I had a pretty lot of them back on like the SNES days and stuff like that. So you can track those down. You can dive into some gaming and more into the world there as well. Which I might look into myself as a gamer. You know what I mean? Because I really, really do love this show. And I'm glad it held up and that it's still one of my favorites. So that's it for this week. I appreciate y'all sitting around with me. Next week, we're moving on to the finale. I'm super excited. I can't wait to go watch my first, which I believe was my first introduction to an isekai. Yeah. So, catch y'all next week.
Loading snacks.
What's going on, everybody? Did you enjoy what you saw? Of course you did. So if you want to help us out and support us, here's what you can do. On whatever platform you're currently streaming us on, just like, share, and subscribe. Then head over to patreon.com/loading snacks and become one of our patrons there.